Hi everyone, welcome to Red Fox Sewing and Crafting, and welcome to my craft room. I'm Joanna. Today I will be showing you the last part to this memory box series that we've been going through for the past few weeks. And that's going to be the tutorial on the box. And it's just big enough to put 3 pages in with a little bit of room for small trinkets and stuff. What you will need to make the box is 2 pieces that are 10 by 9, 1 piece that is 5 by 10, 1 piece that is 1.5 by 5 3/4, and 1 piece that is 1 by 10. So we're going to pull out our scoreboards, and for the 2 9 by 10s, we will be scoring at 2 inches with So we're going to start with our 2 9 by 10s. On the 10-inch side at the top, we're going to score at 2 and 8. And then we're going to rotate it once and score again at 2. And we're going to be doing this to both pages. So again, with the 10-inch at the top, score at 2 and 8, and then rotate it with the 9-inch at the top and score again at 2. On our 5 by 10-inch, with a 10 at the top, we are going to be scoring at 2 and 8, and then flip it around, and we are going to score at 1.5 and 3.5. On our 1.5 by 5 3/4 inch piece with a 1.5 at the top, we are going to be scoring at 3/4. And then our last piece, our 1 by 10, we are going to score at 2 and at 8. So we are going to start with making the base of the box. You will need your 2 9 by 10s, and we're going to cut along the bottom score line just to the edge of the other score line, and then make a little notch out of that, and it'll look like this. You'll have a side piece and then a little tap. And we're going to do this to this side, so along the score mark, and then angle a little bit on the square side. You'll be wanting to do that on one piece. On the other piece, we are going to be cutting out the square corners. So one piece will look like this, and then one piece will look like this. And you're going to want to fold on all your creases. So, you can use whatever type of adhesive you want. You can use score tape, you can use wet glue, ATG, whatever you want. But I'm going to be using a little bit of score tape and a little bit of glue. I am going to put a little bit of score tape on the outside bottom flap of the piece with the corners cut out. And then we're going to remove the backing, and then this is going to get attached to the inside bottom flap. And you want to make sure that when you put this on, that you're not interfering with any of the score marks you made. You want to make sure that it still bends. So then it'll look like this. Now I'm going to angle the tabs a little bit on the other side. Just to get a little bit cleaner look. Take your two tabs and add whatever adhesive you want, and then attach it to one of your side pieces, like this. Again, add adhesive to your tab. You want the outside of your tab. And then we're just going to stick this on like so. And I like to put the base of my box on a flat surface so that I can make sure that it's as level as possible when I'm constructing it, just to make it a little bit easier on me, so I'm not fighting with anything. And then on the two last flaps, I'm going to add a little bit of glue on the inside. And I'm going to carefully line up the score mark with the edge of the other flap and kind of push the two sides together and stick them together. Just like so. So you'll have the small tab on the inside, one flap in the middle, and then the other flap on the outside. And it doesn't matter which flaps are on the inside, which flaps are on the outside, because it looks the same on all sides. So now that we have our box, we are going to move on to our lid. With this one, cut along one of the longer score marks to the side score mark, and then kind of angle it in. Then it'll look like this. And that way you have the four corners will be your tabs, and then the four sides are going to be the sides of your box. Your tabs you want a little angled. Your sides you want straight. And for this one, it's not going to really matter about angling on this side, but you might want to cut a little bit off the edges of these tabs, just so that they don't poke out of the side pieces. So then your lid piece will look like this. Just going to fold on all my score marks here. And to make the lid, you're going to put a little bit of glue on one piece, and then we're going to stick it on the side piece like this, aligning the aligning the sides. Or the edges, like this. So then it'll look something like this. And we're going to do the same on this side. Just like so. Making sure that both tabs are on the inside. Now, you may notice that I have little tabs here on the sides. I'm going to take them and kind of just fold them in like so, and then using a little bit of score tape and a little bit of my glue, just to make sure that it stays down. I'm going to push them in like that. And then, that kind of just helps a little bit with closing the box up so that the lip of the box doesn't catch onto these tabs that we glued on the inside. Now to put these two little strips on. So I just folded on the score marks that I made on both of these. And with this one, the 1x10, I'm going to take my scissors and on one side, I'm going to angle a little bit the corner off, making sure that I'm about 1/2 inch away from the score mark. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And then it'll look like this. And this will do the exact same thing. It'll just kind of help a little bit to get the lid on and off the box. Now this part might be a little tricky. You might have to cut a little bit or kind of fold in other places to do this, but it should be fairly easy to do if you go slowly. I'm going to put a little bit of score tape on the opposite side of where I cut my 2 corner pieces. Just like this. And I'm going to move my backing, and right now I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the large center part and then fold the sides back. I'm going to take my box bottom in and kind of carefully bring it in about halfway in the middle and then stick it down like so. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of glue on either side of the strip and carefully and slowly stick down each side to give the box a little lip for the lid to kind of close on. So then it'll look like this. Got the corners cut off and then the little lip on the front. And then with the last piece, I'm going to take a little bit more score tape. And this time I'm going to add it to both sides of the score mark here. There we go. And for right now, I'm going to just take one side off. Now we're going to take our box and you want to fold your hinge like this so that you can place it at the top, aligning the fold mark with the top of the box. And this is going to be about as big as your box, so centering it isn't going to really matter very much. All you want to make sure of is that you have your fold line right here flush with the back of your box, like this. And now I'm going to remove the backing of the second piece of tape, add a little bit of glue, and then we're going to take our lid, and this might be a little tricky. Again, just go slowly, and You can either do it on the table, close to you, however is easiest to you. What I'm going to do is fold my hinge up, align my lid as best I can with my box, pushing it up against the hinge, and then fold it down so that I get a nice and good stick, like that. And now you can close your box. So I am going to decorate my box really quick, and then I will be back to show you the final result. So here's the final box. Got it all covered with pattern paper, and I have my pages over here that I made in the other videos, and I can open them up and stick them in. They fit in just perfectly. So I hope you have enjoyed coming along with me to make this lovely little memory box. I hope you make these as well, and I will see you next time. Bye.